Transmissions jammed. Proximity coverage only. Transmissions jammed. Proximity coverage only.
Hey guys, Jacob here. It is currently the 7th of July, 2020, and this is going to be this week's vendor reset. As usual, we're going to start at the base of ops and work our way all the way to New York City. This week, he's selling the lightning rod with perfect salvage, crit chains, and pistol damage. If you guys are looking for this weapon and just want to add it to your library, for collection that is, not for the stats, then I'd recommend doing so. A Vector SBR 9mm with breadbasket, crit chance, SMG damage, and health damage. MK16 with swap speed, health damage, assault rifle, and fast hands. A 586 Magnum with max stability, so if you guys are looking for max stability on a pistol. Alp Summit Backpack, which has status effect, repair skill, and adrenaline rush. So if you guys are looking for a yellow backpack that's all Alp Summit, you could make this work, but I'm pretty sure you guys could find something better. But if you want to have just kinds of placement just to have it, then you could use so. Raleigh's holding Vest with Tag Team, headshot damage, status effects, and weapon damage. Offense Protocol Critical with 7.3 headshot damage. Electric Soldering Tool with 6.3 deflection duration. Magnetic Rail for the 4.2 damage for the turret. And the improved sticky payload for the sticky bomb, which is 6.3 damage. That's me about it for the front desk vendor. Next up is going to be the clan vendor. If you guys are not in a clan, you will not be able to have access to this vendor last time I checked. So make sure you guys are in a clan so you can get access to all the things he's selling each week. This week he is selling the Swamp Chain with Perfect Unwavering. This one's actually not too bad if you're looking for one, but I know a lot of people avoid the MP7 due to the fact that, especially this one, you only have 2 places to put attachments, so that kind of sucks. It wasn't like that in the first game, if I remember correctly, but for some reason this game you can only have 2 attachment slots. Ace and Eight's chest piece with weapon damage and critical hit damage. So if you guys are trying to make an Aces build, I'd recommend picking this up. That way you guys can get your hands on it, because this one has double reds and it's actually not that bad. Tip of Spear backpack with 12.5 weapon damage and skill damage. And Foundry knee pads. If you guys are trying to make a Foundry build, I'd highly recommend buying these. I know some people are struggling to get some of these pieces in the gear set loot allocation, so I would recommend picking these up. X45 tactical pistol with information. Double-barreled sawed-off with max shotgun damage, if you're looking for that, with Vindictive. SASG with Future Perfect. Custom M44 with Steady-handed. The Dixon protected pads, which are for the Overlord, which are weapon damage, repair skill, and explosive resistance. Sombra with max skill haste on the mask, if you guys are looking for that. Repair skill, weapon handling, and weapon damage on the holster for Sombra. Defense system mending, which is 16,000 armor on kill, if you guys are trying to make an armor on kill build. Feed strip for the ensnare health for the launcher, which is the Kim launcher. Tungsten compound for the Firefly, which is 6.5 damage. And the dielectric elastomators for the holster generation for a shield, if you guys are trying to make a shield build. And that's me about it for the first 2 vendors at the base of ops. Alright guys, next up we're at the Theater Settlement. This week he's selling the Tsunami Perfect Pummel SASG, a KSG shotgun with Optimus, LVOAC Reputation, Overlord gloves, which have weapon damage, health, and repair skill, healing knee pads with armor, repair skill, and hazard protection, Defense Protocol stamina for blind and death resistance, the infusion for the skill haze on the Seeker Mine, the adaptive installation foam for the active regeneration for the shield, microfiller resin for max targets on the Firefly, and the decoy projector internals for the duration. If you guys aren't using the decoy, I highly recommend using it in a few of the bosses in the raid. I know some people have been talking about that, so if you guys want to throw this out to distract some of the bosses in there in the Iron Horse raid, it actually helps a little bit. That way you're not targeted like crazy. That's about it for the Theater Settlement. Alright guys, next up is going to be the Campus Settlement. This week she's selling the Commando. This one's actually not too bad, but if you guys are looking for it, I mean, it's got almost max crit chains. The headshot damage is really low. It has 10% marksman rifle damage, but you can always make the headshot damage max and just have that 10% marksman rifle damage. But you can always just hit the loot allocations to farm a better one. Hunting M44 with Optimus. Military L86 LSW Feature Perfect. The Raldi's holdings on the mask for health, crit damage, and weapon damage, which is almost max. D&H holster with weapon handling, headshot damage, and weapon damage. If you guys are trying to make a pistol build, this one does have weapon handling on it. That way you guys can control your pistols a little bit easier, like if you're using a Liberty or something. Utility system assist for skill haste. The slip fit tube for the burn strength for the Kim launcher. The extra payload for the revive armor repair. So if you guys are doing PvE, you might want to pick this up. That way it gives you a little bit more armor repair for the revive hive. Unstable oscillator for the radius for the pulse, so if you guys use an EMP or a pulse in general, and the trap charge improvement for the duration. And that's going to be it for the campus settlement. Next up is going to be the dark zones. First up on the list is going to be DZ West. And just a reminder, if you guys are new, you will have to get a different type of credits to buy stuff from this vendor, which you guys can get from deconstructing gear and extracting them, or opening little boxes in the dark zone. This week, he's selling the Virginian Perfect Boomerang on the 1886, SASG with Vindictive, a lightweight M4, which sadly is not full auto, which has Lucky Shot, True Patriot Gloves, which has 122,000 armor. Then you have the Hardwire knee pads with repair skill, Walker Harris headshot damage and weapon damage status effect gloves, Seska knee pads will have crit damage, status effect, and weapon damage, defense system mending with disrupt resistance, the Russian doll protocol for skill haste for the seeker mine, adaptive insulation foam for the shield health, the alignment valve for the 7.9 speed, decoy projector for the internals for the 6% duration for the decoy, and that's going to be it for DZ West. Alright guys, next is going to be DZ South. And this week she is selling a Walker Harris backpack, which this one has perfect adrenaline rush with 9% or 9.6% weapon damage, weapon handling hazard, and empty offensive onslaught with perfect adrenaline rush. So if you guys don't have this and you have the credits, I'd highly recommend picking it up if you do not have it, or you can try farming to get a better one. M1928 Thompson, which has preservation with max SMG damage. AUG A3 CQC with InSync. X45 Tactical with Killer. True Patriot Backpack, which has 110,000 armor and 7% headshot damage. Hardwire chest piece with hazard protection. Richter and Kaiser vest and backpack. The vest has empathic resolve, and the backpack has vigilance with hazard and skill damage, and the chest has headshot and explosive resistance. Offensive system protocol with 10% crit hit damage. Gaffer tape for the 4.3 damage on the drone. Spare parts for the turret, which is 7.3 health. Improved sticky payload for the sticky bomb, which is 4.8 blast radius, and that's going to be it for DZ South. Alright guys, the final dark zone is going to be DZ East. This week, she is selling a commando also, so there's being, 2 sold this week if you guys are trying to find one. Custom M44 with Future Perfect, which has max damaged armor on snipers if you guys are looking for that. Custom LE6A2 with health damage and preparation. Ongoing Directive, which has the weapon damage, 6% weapon handling, empty utility onslaught. Tip Spear with weapon damage armor generation. 511 Mass, which has 124,000 armor, repair skills, and armor generation. Wyvern Rare Holster, which has max health on it, if you guys are trying to find max health on a holster. Utility Protocol Intensity, which has 10.2 Steel Haste. Liquid Nitrogen Cooling System for the ammo for the Chem Launcher. Network Firewall for the health for the Firefly, for the Stinger Hive. Silicon Carbide Coil for the Pulse. And the Trap Electronics upgrade for the duration for the Shock Trap, or the trap in general. But that's about it, guys, for DC. Next up is going to be New York. Alright, guys, the final stop is going to be New York. The front desk vendor this week is not selling any named items because for some reason the New York vendors don't. I'm not sure why. He's selling an FAL with Preparation on it, M700 Carbon with Killer, a KSG shotgun with Pumped Up, M45 A1 Tactical Vindictive, a Gila backpack with Wicked, Explosive Resistance, Skill Haste, and 114,000 armor, Murakami gloves with Hazard, Skill Damage, and Skill Tier, Murakami with repair skill and status effects. So if you guys are trying to use 2-piece Murakami for the repair skills, I would recommend buying this holster. That way you can change the status effect to skill haste, and you have a pretty decent holster. Utility system assist with 16.4 repair skills. Defense protocol critical with 10% critical hit damage. So if you guys are new or you're just looking for critical hit damage mods, I just would recommend buying this 10% because it's not at the DZ vendor and you can just buy it and pick it up with normal credits. Spare parts for the 5.7 duration for the turret. The adhesive for the blind effect duration on the Firefly, and the trap charge improvement for the duration for the trap charge. And yes, they're selling a lot of trap charge durations mod this week. I don't know why, but they are. But the final vendor is going to be right around the corner. It's going to be Roy Benitez, and he's at his desk right here. This week he's selling ACRE with Future Perfect. So if you guys are looking for this talent, then obviously I'd recommend picking up and rolling into something else. And this isn't in the DZ, so you can just buy this at the normal vendor. Custom L86 with max health damage with Optimus. Custom 870 MCS with Ranger, which would not recommend on a shotgun. Military M9 with Reformation. China Light chest piece with Trauma, Explosive Resistance, Weapon Handling, and Skill tier. Handy U gloves with Hazard and Armor Generation skill tier. Petrov holster with crit damage, weapon damage, explosive resistance. Utility system electronics for skill duration. Offensive protocol 4.7 critical hit chance. Organic circuits with his 1% or +1 mortar ammo. My bad, cannot speak today. And I don't know how to say that. I think it's the ectotogology research, which is 4.1 duration. And the decoy protector internals for the duration on the decoy. But overall, there wasn't a whole lot for sale this week, but I am happy they still improved the vendors from what they used to be, and they're not selling useless purples. But that's about it, guys. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you subscribe for more Division 2 content, and I will catch you guys all later.
BT!